How's it going, Laser Bruce is up, Bobby Sixkilla, and welcome back, finally, to Abyss of the Sacrifice. I told you we'd turn this into a full series, even though it's a little bit iffy, but they've had a few patches now, so hopefully it's more showing what you're clicking on and what you're interacting with. That'll make things a little bit easier. Let's jump into the next one. I assume we're going into Blood right here, right? As opposed to Father? Or is it Father? It is Father, okay. I can't remember whether we used the controller or whether we used a mouse and keyboard for this. I feel like we ended up using a controller because it kept giving us the option to. Kept telling us what the buttons were for it. Olga hurried down the hall. The fate of a human life is in my hands. I'm responsible for someone's life. This kind of pressure would be her everyday reality in the future, given her fated path. As the hospital director's daughter. But it's too soon. I'm not even at the starting line to begin on that path. Why is this happening? As she trudged through the dark hall, she recalled what had occurred. Olga was looking down on the girl covered in blood. Exposed to radiation, she was near death, with only a few hours left. Radiation medicine could be found in the hospital. Olga already knew that much. She even knew where to find it. Her father's hospital. Do you know what a doctor's job is? One day her father asked her this question. To cure people's illness? Olga's father sighed at her timid answer and turned to face her. Is that what you've learned from me, after all these years? Olga's heart ached as she realised she'd failed her father yet again. He continued, a doctor's job is to attempt to save any person's life. Same diff. Olga sighed as she turned the familiar corner to the hospital. Finally. It took a while, but I got here faster than expected. I might just make it. She passed right by the pharmaceutical storeroom. Her destination was her father's research lab. To open the specialised medicine shelf and get past the high security, she knew she would need an ID card. A copy of her father's ID should be somewhere in this room. Search. Okay. Okay. I'm searching with a controller here, it feels weird. Documents are scattered across the desk, but nothing looks useful. Okay. What else is there? So a little thing comes around the thing telling us that there's something to click on. What is this? A fingerprint reader. She put her finger to the reader to test it. Looks like my fingerprints won't work. It seems locked and won't budge. Same as that one, I assume. Yes. What else is there? Alright, back it up. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Medical tape. Anything else over here? Doesn't look like it. There are files of research results, but they're too hard to understand. Not helpful. Alright. And the only item we got is the tape. Where would he have put his fingers? So that we can steal his fingerprint? On the laptop maybe? On the documents maybe? Father's cup. Yeah, of course. I wonder what kind of tea he used to drink here. Obtain teacup. Can we use the items together? No? Oh, there we go. A fingerprint has stuck to the medical tape. That's what I hoped would happen, yeah. And then we can use that. Here. Looks like the lock open. Hell yeah! She reached for an old medical book. Suddenly she realized she'd seen it before. This book. It was an old book that her father had treasured. She had originally seen it in his library. Her father had told her that this old medical book was very valuable. There's no doubt about it. I've seen it before. Back then. How many times do I have to tell you, Olga? Her father spoke in his usual controlled voice. but Olga knew he was angry. She was young at the time, but she could tell. But, no buts, we cannot keep a dog in this house. But why not? I'll take care of it. That's not the problem. Olga didn't understand why her father said no to the dog. It was only a small puppy she'd found in front of their house. A doctor is someone who works hard to save lives. This is what her father had taught her, and yet he ignored this puppy's life. Please, father, I want to keep it. No. In the end, her father wouldn't budge. He called the maid to take the pup out of the room. Olga didn't know what happened to it after that. It was probably disposed of somewhere. That was when Olga first felt the pain of losing something precious. But now she understood why her father didn't let her keep the dog. To keep a living creature meant to take on the full responsibility of a life. Young Olga had neither the ability nor the resolve to do that back then. At least, that's what her father thought, as a stern and rigid doctor. But young Olga couldn't understand his perspective then. She thought, father should lose something precious too. So she secretly stole his treasured old medical book. But he saw through her right away, and she soon returned the book. But her father misunderstood her actions. You have good taste to understand the value of this book. He even praised her. A man who rarely commended anyone was praising her for the wrong reasons. Olga was taken aback. She remembered the complex emotions she felt then, as if it were yesterday. Olga giggled to herself. Back then, she'd not yet given up on defying her father. She was so naive. It all felt so ridiculous when she thought about it now. Olga shook her head to stop herself from getting caught up in a memory. No, I'm racing the clock here. My thoughts can wait. She moved the medical book aside. ID card. With the ID card in hand, she hurried to the pharmaceutical storeroom. Search. Does the card go in this thing? So it's in here. Of course it's locked. I assume we're using the card, right? I don't have a number for that. Can I look at the card? How do I... Is there a way to look at the card? I don't remember if there was. I feel like there's not. Alright, let's have a look around more. Maybe there's something we need to open first. Maybe not. There's not much around here. The door seems locked. Yeah, okay. I get ya. I feel ya. Are we just figuring out what the code is based on the dots? Oop. I pushed an 8. I don't know if that's right. It makes no sense to me, man. Dirt. Like that. Up, that way. 7 for 1? Seven, 4, 1. That 7 still doesn't look like a fucking 7 though. It looks like shit. By the way. Here we go. If I can just open this box. When she held the ID to the scanner, a panel with numbers appeared. What's this? The panel asked for a passcode. Oh fuck. To match the ID's security level. It was 8 spaces long. It would be almost impossible to guess by pressing random numbers. Olga frowned. Just then, a sudden voice made her jump. What are you doing here? She spun around to find a girl. Who are you? Right back at you. The girl's tone was as cold as ice, and her eyes were like daggers. Why are you here? Overwhelmed by the girl's hostility, Olga was at a loss for words. A spark of interest flashed through the girl's eyes. Where did you get that ID card? I know it's not yours. She scoffed with the same bitter expression. Calm down. I'm just impressed. She jerked her chin at the storeroom. Want me to help you get inside? Huh? Olga was taken off guard. Why would you do that? I'm good at number puzzles. She modestly shrugged her shoulders. Actually, I have the key to solve it. You do? The girl held up a piece of paper. A bunch of numbers were in the middle, and English letters were on the left. It definitely looks like the key to some code. Olga was conflicted. This strange girl had come out of nowhere. Should she trust her? On the other hand, she couldn't just start pressing buttons at random. If there was a hint, she would do anything to get her hands on it. How do we open the door? A slight smile spread across the girl's lips. To use this key, we need a base word. The girl introduced herself as Chole. What kind of base word? It's probably a 4-letter English word. Icon, maybe? There are a total of 8 spaces, and each letter in the conversion table is equal to 2 numbers. How do you know that? And where'd you get that table? Who cares about that? Completely shut down, Olga gave up asking questions. Hey, you. Can you think of a 4-letter word? Even though Olga hadn't introduced herself, Chloe still called her you. She was a little angry about this, but she knew it wasn't the time to argue. She had to get the medicine as quickly as possible. On the ID card it says Icon, right? Is it Icon? Yeah, Icon team leader. So if that's A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F. So the A, F, K, P, and U don't have numbers, right? G, H, I, so 6, 6. C is O, 8. O. It's 54, 5, 4, and then N. $62. 66085462. This key gives me an 8-digit password. It also needs a 4-letter word. 4-letter word. Let's do it. 6, 6, 0, 8, 5. Please be right. 4, 6, 2. Was that wrong? Oh no! It says right there, Icon team, it even looks different, right? It has to be Icon. Did I do something wrong? Let me work it out again. F, G, H. Oh, I is 57. I'm so dumb. And then... I'm so dumb. I can't count, that's the problem. I can do puzzles, but I can't count. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. You win some, you lose some. Oh, I'm so dumb. 57085462. There was a click as the door to the medicine shelf unlocked. It's open. The medicine she was looking for was inside, just as she knew it would be. She quickly put the small bottle into her bag. Thank goodness, now we can save that girl. She whispered with a sigh of relief. Then she spun around to thank Chloe. But Chloe was staring at the sky with something on her mind. 57085, she murmured to herself, clearly lost in thought. Chloe? When Olga curiously spoke her name, Chloe jumped. She turned to Olga with a calm face. Her eyes were as cold as ever. What? Oh, nothing. Feeling as if she'd seen something she wasn't supposed to, Olga quickly looked away. Come on, Chloe. We have to hurry. Where are we going? I already told you. Someone ill is waiting for me. Why should I have to go with you? Her curt question made Olga feel hard-pressed to answer. Well, things being as they are, you could take refuge with us instead of on your own. With you? Chloe scoffed. Olga felt like she was being mocked, and it made her mad. Fine, I won't ask you again. She adjusted her bag with the medicine on her shoulder. Thank you for your help, Chloe. Take care of yourself. Unable to hide her anger, she quickly turned around and left. But once she was alone outside, she stopped in her tracks. She suddenly felt childish for getting so mad. In a situation like this, it's better for us to move in a group than alone. What am I doing storming out over a dumb argument? Chloe's attitude is to blame, but this isn't like me. I should be used to arrogant people. I must really be on edge. Olga let out a big sigh. Back inside the storeroom, Chloe was looking around. She picked out a book from the top of the medicine shelf and started flipping through it. She narrowed her eyes. After a while, she ripped out a page and stuck it in her pocket. She was about to head for the door when she stopped and returned to the shelf. I could use this. She took a bottle of powerful medicine and stuffed it away. You still here? She saw Olga standing at the door, but she didn't seem surprised. What were you doing? Olga answered just as coldly, even though she'd only been there a few seconds. She could tell Chloe had been searching for something, but she purposefully dropped the topic and spoke with conviction. You're coming with me, back to the others. With that, she spun around and sped off in the direction she came from. Chloe shrugged and followed without a word. To be continued. Sure, I'll save the current data. Numbers. And we'll see where that leads us. She doesn't seem like a very nice person. Well, I guess we'll get to know her a bit better in a moment. Olga seems like a nice person, though. Numbers, eh? Well, I'm glad I got a piece of paper here to write on. These games are always like that. The book stacks. Usually an organised place, books and files were now spread helter-skelter. Most of it was caused by the tremors. But a lot of the mess had also been made on purpose. No, this isn't it. The culprit was a young girl scouring the books. Her name was Chloe. Is this it? She opened book after book, but instead of reading them, she just flipped through their pages. After flipping through one, she tossed it and repeated the cycle. She tossed another book aside. Another dud. She raised her head and looked around. Then she moved to a shelf she'd not touched yet. Chloe was searching for something. It was something she called a marker. Alright, let's get searching. Sorry the mouse moves so slowly, I'm using a controller still. Actually, you could use the mouse for this bit. Command. Check right bookshelf. Oh, here we go. This section is all shelves of medical texts. Is that good or bad? I assume that's not good. Dude, I already checked left bookshelf. Alright, mouse. This isn't it. She can't find what she's looking for. Nah. This section is all shelves of medical texts. I said that last time. She flipped through a book she picked up. Neurosurgery reports, huh? Strangely, Chloe found herself drawn in by the book, leading her to slow her pace, flipping through the pages. That was all it took for her to grasp the book's contents. After reading through a thick, hardcover medical text with shocking speed, Chloe tossed it aside. That was alright, but that's not it either. Cool. This isn't it? Nah. She can't find what she's looking for, yeah. Command, check right bookshelf. Seems to work better with a mouse. This section is all shelves of medical texts. No. The corner of her lips rose in a small smirk. Found it. She tore out the page, folded it neatly and put it in her pocket. Is that the number puzzle for where she just was? Now that she had what she needed, it was time to move on to the next step. She closed the book in her hands. Just as she was about to toss it aside, like all the others, she froze. Her gaze was drawn to the back cover. In a white box was printed the code 57085. God damn it. Hang on. Writing it down. Yep. Talk about a terrible number. Why is that a terrible number? What's wrong with that? She scowled and then threw the book aside. Then, as if she'd touched something disgusting, she shook her hands out a few times and left the room. The hell is wrong with 57,085? Chloe reached her destination. It was a small room with metal walls, lined with machinery. She made sure she heard a low whir before letting out a satisfied whisper. This place really is still alive. It even has electricity. She flipped a few switches on a panel and the monitor started up. She says she's a genius, obviously. Now I just have to set up a way to bypass electricity to the other areas. Oh, I see. That sounds like the big one then, the big puzzle. I'm going to take over with the mouse again for a bit. This won't work out, I'll try something else. A lot of machines along the wall. There's a duct. Looks like there are backup circuits running through the duct, but no need for them now. Something to do with this thing. This machine is being supplied with energy. Yes, I see that. The monitor shows the power being supplied to the ward. Pipes? These look like cooling pipes. There's a duct. We've already clicked on the duct. What else is there? Stairs leading up. What is this? If I just use this, maybe. Obtain measuring device. Nothing's fallen in here. Alright, so what do we use this for? What does it do? This can probably be used to control the machine. This machine is being supplied with energy. Can we... Where do we control it from? The duct? No need for the circuits. Operating this won't do anything. Okay. Aha! Here we go. Pressing the buttons won't change anything. She grasped the handle and pulled the circuit board out. What? Do we just need to light them all up? What are we doing here? Oh, now I just need to put these numbers together. 8210. Yeah? There's no 8. Or do we just... Are we adding them up? Or is it 128? I don't understand. Obviously. Oh, I see. So now it says 90. So what do we need to make it say? Well, I'm assuming it needs to come down to 0. Let's take off the smallest numbers first. Work our way up to the bigger numbers. 86. 86 take away 23 is not 40. Wait. It's double. It's taking off double. 82. This would be 94? That took longer than I expected. I apologize. Here we go. Once you did this, the neighboring block's general battery started to charge. Looking good. Soon enough, the next block's machinery should be up and running. My job here is done. Now for the next step. She stood up with a satisfied smile and left the room. The next coordinates are... She murmured while holding the marker she just ripped from a book. She felt good as she walked through the dimly lit hallway. It's easy to get around in this area, since there isn't much debris. Plus, everything's going smoothly. Despite the situation, everything is strangely going according to plan. A greater power must be guiding me. Just as she thought this, she had a strange feeling she'd felt before. A shiver ran down her spine and a dizzying giddiness filled her chest. This must be what they called the fear of God. What a terrifying, burning and overwhelming feeling. There's no doubt about it, I really did have a revelation. I've been chosen, no question. The thought alone filled her with excitement. She instinctively slid her hands into her pockets and touched the crisp objects inside with her fingertips. They were slips of folded paper that Chloe called markers. She carefully brought them out on her palm and gently unfolded them. She had 3 so far, and she would find more as time went on. Please give me guidance, she whispered to the papers and caressed them as if they were sacred. Suddenly her fingertips jumped. Oh! Her eyes widened in surprise. The rapture on her face became pure fear. She slid her trembling finger across the 3 papers. There were page numbers printed on each slip of paper. Chloe's eyes scanned each one of them. 57, 08, 54. And the next one would be 62 then. These numbers. She remembered the book in the library. For Chloe, those numbers represented the most unbelievable event. The most horrific event that was thrust upon her as reality. Her burial number. When I got notice of her death, on her coffin plate, didn't I see those same numbers? Calm down. Calm down, it's just a coincidence. You're right, Chloe talked herself down. Once inside the pharmaceutical storeroom, she found something interesting. A shelf protected by a heavy digital lock. It either contained powerful or rare medicine inside. What a simple puzzle. With a single glance, Chloe could guess what kind of lock this was. She entered a few codes, pressed enter, and the digital lock clicked open. As if she felt no joy about solving the puzzle, or felt it had been too easy, Chloe opened the door with a blank expression. What? There's more than one lock? No way. If this were just a code, it wouldn't be a problem with the decryption key I found. But now it wants authentication. That'll take a while. It looks like I'll have to find an ID card to open this. I want to know what's inside, but should I really spend so much time on it? As Chloe racked her brain for a solution, her ears pricked up with sound. Footsteps were approaching. Someone else is here. She reset the digital lock, quietly left the room and hid herself near the entrance. The footsteps belonged to an unexpected culprit. It was a girl around the same age as Chloe. She was thin and wore a uniform of a prestigious school. It seemed she was trying to open the shelf Chloe had just been fiddling with. This piqued Chloe's interest. The girl's movements were awkward, but she was opening the locks. She definitely wasn't stupid, which sparked Chloe's interest even more. Soon enough, the girl had unlocked the digital lock and opened the door. Hey, she has an ID card. But then the girl stopped. She doesn't know the password. Seeing the girl had reached a dead end, Chloe called out to her. What are you doing there? Dude, that's going to be a short episode. I guess I'll save. And it opened up Asuna. Ghost, that's the girl that got hurt. Alright, sorry it's going to be a very short episode again, but these are just going to be short ones. I hope you don't mind. But if you do want longer ones, I can try and do 2 in one thing or something like that. I don't know. Just let me know what you think. Till then, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking it out for me, and I'll see you in the next one.